Welcome back to the Bayou Guerrilla Gardener. Today I've got solo cups, I've got dirt, I've got tomato seeds, containers, paper towels, and pecan seeds. So I'm going to start by starting my tomatoes and peppers, and I actually need, do we have a Sharpie marker in here? Okay. All right. So first, how much room do I actually have for starters? Maybe like a dozen cups. So this is more demonstration than doing a whole bunch, and I can't count. One. And then I'll just take each of these. Fill it up. Now there's multiple ways to do this. This is typically a good size for tomatoes to get them to last. This is similar to like a 3, maybe 4-inch pot. And they can go maybe 6 weeks in this size container before you'd want to repot them into something bigger. But you can start them in even like the small little egg cartons or something like that. And then after they sprout, transplant them into bigger containers. I've had a lot of success doing that, where I start them in small containers, the little 6-pack containers that you'd see at like a big box store. Start them in there, and 3 or 4 to a cell. And then after they germinate, before they put out their first pair of true leaves, when they've just got the seed leaves, transplant them into 3-inch or 4-inch pots and grow them out for up to 6 weeks before transplanting outside. So it is 3rd week of January here in southern Louisiana, and the last frost date, my memory serves, is sometime in April. So I'm starting these a bit early. Maybe it was March, I can't remember. But I don't mind transplanting. Plus, I know some of them are going to go into a planter right outside our porch here, which we've got set up in such a way that it's easy to cover if we do get another frost event or freeze event. All right. So there we go. Now, see how many different tomato varieties and pepper varieties I got, because I'm doing some peppers too. Got 12 total cups. Got 3 peppers. I've got a sweet. I've got a snacking pepper. Not sure. I've got some cayenne. And I've got Homestead, San Marzino, some Longkeeper, and yellow pear. These are more San Marzinos. So I've got 4 tomatoes. So I got 7, and I've got 12. So if we want to do 2 of each, let's do 2 more. I'll give me 2 of each. All right. There's nothing overly scientific about this, so I'm going to take a little marker, and I'm going to do, let's see, that's a cayenne, that's a snacking, and that's a sweet pepper. There's an easy way to do this. Let's do P for pepper, and then C for cayenne. P for pepper, C for cayenne. And we'll do P for pepper, and that one says it's a roulette. we'll do a PR. This one we'll do a PR. And then the snacking pepper we'll just do a PS. I love you. PS. Throw me. And then let's see. I got the Homestead. So tomato, Homestead, TH. Tomato, Homestead. We got the San Marzino, so we'll do a TS. TS. Then we've got the yellow pear, so TY. TY. And then we've got this long keeper, so TL. TL. And TL. All right. So now I know what will be what. That's, what do I have here? I got the PC, so that's the pepper cayenne. The pepper cayenne. So the back of these actually say 5 weeks before last planting, and this says I can plant them outdoors in my area anywhere between February and April. So I think I am right with that April last frost. January, February, April. So I'm starting 6-ish to 8-ish weeks early. And peppers like, and that's all they give you in this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 10 seeds in one packet. That's pretty sad. So we will definitely, at the end of the season, be saving a pepper from each, because a single pepper will give you hundreds of seeds, which, based on the value of 10 to $3.28, these are 33 cents per seed. And if you get 100 seeds at the end of the season, that's $30 worth of seed just from one pepper. All right, so we'll just sprinkle these 10 between these 2 cups. And then what I may do, depending on space, is once these actually germinate, and as I was saying before they throw their true leaves, I might actually transplant them so I get more. But typically you want, and when I transplant them out into their own pots, or if I do separate them into their own pots, I'll do 1 plant per pot. I should be thinning and selecting for best genetics, but I prefer to grow everything, and even if it's a bad plant, I'll only keep the seeds from the actual good plants. And then the next ones were the PR, so the sweet pepper. Maybe there's more. No, 60 grams. I bet it's only 10 seeds again. Yep. I bet they're each only 10 seeds. These seeds look a little smaller. Maybe we get 11. There's one stuck in there. Two stuck in there. This time we got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I'm just setting them in here. I'll cover them with a little bit more soil here. And then what I'll do is I'll water them, and then I might cover them all to get some humidity, or keep the humidity and warmth in. 1, I'm going to put them in our windowsill. And 2, I might cover each little lid, or each little cup, with some saran wrap. And if I have enough rubber bands, just rubber band the top around to try and lock some of that heat and humidity in, because tomatoes, and especially peppers, don't like germinating unless the soil is 80 degrees plus. So they really like warm soil. This one, basically 10 again. That's actually 12. And that is because what I didn't know until just a few years ago is peppers and tomatoes are tropical plants. And in the tropics, they basically grow year round. Whereas up here in the northern hemisphere, or far enough north where you get real winters, or at least winters that freeze and kill things every now and then, they are annuals. Homestead. Okay, these ones I have a whole bunch of, so I'm only probably going to plant 4 or 5 per cup. So I don't want to be overrun with tomato seedlings. Although it would be cool to sell some of them. And you don't have to be as, I guess, careful as I am. If you don't mind wasting some seeds, you just basically throw them on in there and they will work. Rush back in the thing. Okay, the next one is the TS. That's the San Marizinos. San Marizinos are like a Roma. They're not what you consider a slicing tomato, but a meat tomato, or something that does really good for canning or making sauces, because they're not quite as they have more flesh, not as much water content as the big slicing, like beefsteak style tomatoes. They're really a beautiful tomato though. All right. Next one are the yellows. This is one of our favorites. These little yellow pears, because they taste like candy. Plant some of these guys. That's what happens when you accidentally rip the whole bag and then stick them into a Ziploc bag to try and save, so you don't lose them. Okay. And then the last one, whatever these burpee long keepers are. I'm guessing they're a tomato that's supposed to have a long shelf life. Yeah, it says they can store 6 to 12 weeks if you pick them right before frost. We'll see if that's true. Alright. Now basically, I'll put just a little more soil on top of each one, so we get good seed to soil contact. Then we'll water them. You don't want to overwater it because I didn't make any drainage holes in these cups. Yeah, she's fine. It's in the rocking chair. These solo cups have gotten thinner over the years. You got to be careful when you grab them from the sides and you don't pinch them too hard and cause it to split. Because then you'll probably start losing some soil. I'm going to have to figure out how to timestamp stuff. Alright, and now my peppers and tomatoes are basically started. So we'll start with the pecans now. Okay. Alright, so now the pecans. And the first thing I'm going to do is scarify them all. So basically, just take a blade and do anything to nick the shells. Some people, I guess, like clip off the very bottom of the shell, but anything to make the water penetrate the shell easier. This is called scarification. And then after I scarify them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak them in water for 24 hours. Okay, I think you can pause, or do you just want me to keep doing this and then just speed it up real fast in the video? Oh, it almost hit my eyeball. I don't even know which way works better. And I didn't scarify any of my other nut seeds last time I did it, and most of them germinated pretty well. Although that was the chestnuts. The chestnuts don't really have a hard shell. So anything with a super hard shell, all the literature says to scarify. Oh, that one's already scarified. Or cracked. That, and also with genetics, even though these are small, there is such a thing as genetic variation. So you could have a small seed produce a tree that actually produces large nuts. So while we tend to cull for size or taste or anything like that, when you're dealing with something that isn't a grafted tree, i.e. a clone, there's always going to be genetic variation, which is not a bad thing. That's how there got to be so many apple varieties once upon a time. Because people would, now I poke myself, people would just plant apple seeds and the tree would grow into a new variety. I think that's all the named varieties That one's got the thing on it. So all the named varieties are just one plant that has been cloned thousands and thousands of times. So if you have a red delicious apple, it is the same genetic red delicious apple that I have if I had a red delicious apple. Just pretty crazy. I broke that one open. That one didn't have anything. Fill this one up. I think the rest I'm just going to throw in the compost pile, and if they Alright, so those I'm just going to throw in the compost pile. If they germinate, they germinate. I need to water all these real quick. Alright, and to keep the moisture in, let me get some scissors. 1 second. It's probably the world's worst saran wrap. And that's how we do it. And then they'll go on. We actually have a southern facing window with some plant ledges on it that we'll be putting them on. And I'll update you with sprouting process, and we'll do a follow-up on the pecans, because these, like I said, they need to soak for about 24 hours, maybe a little longer. And then after they soak, I will take them out and then basically line the trays, or line the plastic containers with paper towels, damp paper towels, do a layer of pecan seed, another damp paper towel, another layer of pecan seed, up until I can't, or until I can still cover them with a lid. And then they'll go in the fridge for 4 to 6 weeks, or until they start sprouting. Thank you for watching the Bayou Guerrilla Gardener. Please like, share, and subscribe.